Hello everyone, welcome to Life Coach Lessons. Today I will be giving you tips on living successful and purposeful lives in only 3 to 5 minutes. I'm Scott Miller, a certified retirement life coach from Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 33 of Life Coach Lessons. We're in the month of January and we're looking at your questions related to the topic of mental health. And today we're looking at a topic that I hear a lot of people talking about, and a lot of people are concerned about this. And the question goes like this: why am I feeling lonely? A recent study that I just took a look at says that about 36% of all Americans say that they're lonely. So at any given time, about a third of the people will say that they're going through a period of loneliness. And of course, that if you ask people and have them look into their past, I think all of us will say there was periods of time in our lives where we experienced loneliness. And certainly in the last 2 or 3 years here with COVID, and we saw a lot of isolation. We were not allowed to supposedly leave our houses, and we had to kind of quarantine and isolate ourselves. So we had a lot of people experiencing loneliness. They just didn't have that interaction with people in their community or things that they normally would do on a regular basis. You can go back to episodes 19 through 27 in the month of October and November. We actually talk about this whole idea of social connections and how important it is to have relationships in our lives. But let me just give you 3 tips to kind of battle this idea of loneliness. Number 1 is, I know this seems obvious, get connected. So often we just feel very disconnected, and you know what? You can actually feel lonely in a crowd too. And so there's lots of clubs and organizations that you can get involved in. Volunteering at different places a lot of times can help you feel connected. Joining a church, a religious organization of some kind where you get to be in community with others, a lot of times will help to kind of fill that void of being lonely. Number 2 is improve the quality of your relationships. So it's not only having relationships, it's not only being connected with people, but it's also improving the quality of those relationships that you have. Now this takes effort, right? Because in any relationship, there can be conflict, and maybe you've been burned in the past through some of your relationships. This really just takes humility on your part, gentleness, kindness, patience, bearing with one another. These are just some qualities that I think are really, really important when it comes to improving the quality of those relationships around us. And then lastly, number 3, just remember, nobody is perfect, okay? I think a lot of times our expectations of those around us are really high. We expect people to just be perfect, and that's just not the case. We're all broken. We all have faults. We all have all things that we don't do so well at. And so I think just being accepting of others, and again, just going into these relationships with an attitude of humility is just so important when it comes to building good, healthy, quality relationships. Well, those are just a few tips when it comes to battling loneliness. This is a real thing in our society today. I think it's really good that a lot of our COVID restrictions are starting to loosen up and people are getting out and about again, because we really are created for relationships with one another. Hey, it's been great talking with you today. If you have any questions or comments about Refocus Coaching, you can get a hold of me at smiller@hzcapital.com. I would love to hear from you today. And remember to live a more meaningful and purposeful life today.